Yo, so check this out. I was thinking about hopping back on Marathon after not playing it for like a couple months. But then I was like, I really just don't want to play Marathon. And I was like, hold up, scratch that. I don't want to play live service games in general almost ever anymore. Which, if you told me that like 2 years ago or something, where I was playing just like mostly live service games, I really was focused on like games like Call of Duty and like Apex and I don't know, just sort of like live service shooters before I discovered like the world of actual video games that actually has substance. And so what I thought I'd do instead is talk about why I don't play live service games in general anymore. Outside of like Warframe, because I still really like Warframe, I really do feel like it's all about the implementation of a lot of the really egregious, greedy systems, you know, just draining every ounce of energy and money they can get out of you, or just like other mechanics that are designed to keep you playing for hours on end, just designed to keep you addicted to the game to where you can't get off. You know, like I just want to talk about like all-encompassing the reason why I don't play live service games anymore. Keep in mind, this is going to be like live service broadly, just like as a general, I guess, genre. So like MMOs would fall under that umbrella as well. Even though they're sort of like their own thing, they are still live service games. So if we go the same for like arena shooters, CRPG like live service games, you know, they all fall under the same umbrella. So I'm going to be discussing them all at once. But yeah, I guess we'll just get started. I guess I'll start with the monetization of live service games. Now, I'm sure you've already seen like a video essay of the just like really greedy and just like extremely manipulative tactics, very immoral like gambling tactics, and just other really shady strategies that they've used in live service games over the past years to get mainly like preteens to like early 20s, people very addicted to games, like people that are going to come into their first wave of disposable income and they have this hobby that is gaming. And if they play a live service game, that company wants to make sure that that is the live service game that they spend all their money on. And I'm sure you've seen like certain examples. So like for me and Valorant, I noticed it instantly when they were trying to do the, you know, oh, here's a sale for this skin, here's a sale. First off, all these like values are arbitrary. They decide the value of something in the game. So it can be like the sickest looking skin of all time and it can be dirt cheap. And you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But it's just very arbitrary and it's designed to make you spend as much money as possible. So like in Valorant, and even in other live service games, this happens as well. But like they literally will make sure that you have just under the amount that you need to purchase a particular skin. And then what you're forced to do because of that is add on an extra tiny little pack. And then, you know, you're left over with this small amount in your account. You're like, well, I got to spend that somehow, you know, I got to spend it somewhere. So then, you know, you buy more currency, but you really didn't need it. You really just bought it because now you wanted to get rid of all the credits in your account. So you're like, okay, I'm going to buy it until it equals out to something that I can buy in the store for that amount. And then I'm going to get that item and not buy any more things in the store. But it never works out like that. It never does, because they always do these little tricks, little rotating store periods. They do this thing where it's sort of like Target on Black Friday, where they increase the price on something and then say it's like 30% off, but it's just the original price so that you think you're getting it on a deal. It's just like the most like unrighteously shady, like manipulative bullshit that they can think of, and they will add it into their monetization methods for the game. And that's just one very broad example. I mean, there's so many examples. You can go everywhere on the internet and see a live service game. I mean, live service games that literally will be out for a few days and already have $50 skins. What are we doing? That makes not a lick of sense. You always get the arguments of people who say, oh, it's just cosmetic and stuff, like, oh, it doesn't affect the actual gameplay of the game. Which, you know what, I'll just concede to that argument, because I can't make arguments against that. But let's just say we give you the win. Most live service games do actually have gameplay affecting weapons or characters or whatever that they secretly lock behind monetization methods, but you just don't notice it because you can't buy that thing directly. But guess what? You can go do 17 different avenues that will allow you to essentially buy that weapon, and you're just gonna let them get away with it because on a technicality you can't buy the weapon or the character or whatever it is. And so yeah, they mainly get away with it because of people like, you know, the people who defend it. It's mostly whales, to be fair. Like, most people aren't actually like that. They understand the aggressive monetization systems that's in these games, but it does prey on those whales that are susceptible to it. And honestly, it preys on mostly just like younger teens and younger adults who are not very responsible with their money, and they know exactly how to exploit those people for the most amount of profit. And it's the most scummy thing of all time. Monetization in live service games need to have like some sort of regulation. I know there's regulations in EU and Australia and stuff like that. I mean, in the States, it's just getting worse and worse for live service games that are primarily dominant in like the US. And so yeah, that's one of the things I really dislike about live service games, especially like in the modern era. Every live service game is just decked out with monetization methods from the jump that's meant to max out everyone's credit cards. The next thing I want to talk about is FOMO, which has plagued so many live service games I lost count. And one of my main examples for this is Apex Legends. They keep putting in modes, taking out modes, putting in events, taking them out, and nothing's like a mainstay in any of these live service games. Like even core modes will be taken out temporarily in place of these special events and other stuff, and you have to bounce around from different things to play, even though you might have one stable mode that you like to play all the time and that's the only thing you want to play. Nah, I'm sorry, it's gonna be gone for this week because we have this summer splash event or whatever, and the modes you want to play, they're gonna be back at the end of summer, or maybe like a couple weeks later or something like that. And it's like, okay, well then I'll just stop playing the game. Stop playing with me. If I want to play a game and I play a game mode in a game, I'm playing it for that mode, obviously. Like otherwise I just wouldn't be playing the game. Why are you taking modes in and out? Why are you taking content in and out? That's the other thing. Like, games will do this so often. They'll rotate content and you literally can't acquire it unless it's like in season or in event or whatever. No. We're not playing that game. It's like, leave the base content in the game alone. Literally, like if you want to add to the base content, make sure that you are 100% positive, because I've seen this so many times when a game has like 3 modes or something and they want to add a 4th mode, and then now guess what? It's taking away resources from these other 3 modes, and then that 4th mode, is temporarily popular, but no one actually wants to play that mode, so then it quickly falls off. But the people who actually like that mode now, they have nothing to play because now you took that mode away, and then you start doing this like rotational thing with the 4th mode where it will replace one of the other 3 modes, and it's like, just stop playing with people, man. Like, they play your game because they want to play this mode. Not everyone who plays a live service game is playing it for like every single mode, every single piece of content. Some people like a particular thing about a live service game, and that's what they want to play about it. It makes me feel like you think you're some sort of puppeteer, like you're like deciding what I can play and when I can play it so it can get your monthly numbers up or something. Nah, that's not working. It's just gonna get uninstalled from my console and I'm not gonna play the game again. And I guess that sort of extends into my next point, which is the exhaustion of live service games with their daily requirements, their monthly requirements for challenges, and just like unlocks, battle passes, that can all get thrown into here. The amount of time that you have to sink into a live service game to really get like your bang for your buck is, oh my gosh. This is why you literally just like, if it's free to play, I know live service games have now become like $40, and that's like sort of like the standard if it's going to be a high tier, quote unquote high tier at least, live service game. But if it's free to play, just like play it like a free to play game. Do not buy any content, because you're going to feel forced to play it on some amount. Like, you're gonna have this sunk cost fallacy of like, well, I mean, I spent money on this free game, I need to get some worth out of it. And once you start thinking like that, that's what it gets you. And I mean, there's nothing you can do to help that, because say you buy a $20 skin in the game, you've been playing this game for 40 hours, you're like, you know what, I think this skin is really cool. It has like a skin set or whatever, comes with a weapon skin, comes with a charm, all this good stuff, emblems. But then they do that thing that I talked about earlier where they removed one of your favorite modes. Now you're like, okay, well, I don't really want to play the game, but I got to finish all my requirements and, all this other stuff for my monthly challenges to feel like I didn't just waste $20 on nothing. And it's like, that's where they get you. That's how they keep you on the hook. And it's so hard to break free from once you fully committed to the idea of paying money in a free-to-play game. All right, we're gonna move this along a little bit. The next thing I want to talk about is the toxic communities in live service games. And yeah, this is the main reason why I avoid just like going online and engaging in discourse when it comes to a live service game. I honestly, sometimes when I'm playing a live service game, if it's not one of those super positive communities like Warframe, I'm gonna be honest with you, I just don't even go online and look for like content on it. Go to like Reddit, go to X, just go to like random online threads and see what people are talking about it, maybe like in the forums of Steam. I just don't even do that anymore because, man, it's split all different ways every way you want. And everyone has the most controversial opinion of the game of all time. And everyone's going head to head with each other. No two people can agree on something that makes the game good, that makes the game bad, that makes the game all right. It's always chaos and war. And people, you're always having subreddits being shut down temporarily. You're always having drama with streamers, like people being stream sniped, people, being DDoSed, people being doxxed, people having beef back and forth, false reporting, getting people banned unjustly. I talked about this before with Arc Raiders, about how this one streamer got this guy banned for something that he did in game, and it wasn't against terms of service, but just because she was friends with one of the mods of the game, that got his account banned or temporarily banned. But then with public outcry and stuff like that, I believe the decision was reversed. But still, it's like stuff like that. It's just like so much drama and so much unnecessary, just like nonsense. I'm like, I just want to play this game. If I like a live service game, I just want to play it in peace. Unless it's Warframe again, because those people are always super helpful. They always are very upbeat and positive, and they just like talk about the game like they would with their friends. And honestly, I won't lie, I've been a part of it in the past. Like with Payday 3, I'm not even gonna go over it. I'm tired of talking about the Payday 3 situations. It's like 12 different drama situations going on with Payday 3. I've completely just stopped talking about that game. But it happens to every game. Literally every live service game. No matter how successful it is, no matter how popular it is, no matter how much people love it. You can literally go down the list. Find a live service game, drama, unnecessary BS, all that kind of stuff. It all happens to these games. And to me, I get tired of it. Like, I don't like it in real life. Like, I completely avoid it like the plague in real life. Why would I want it in my games where I'm meant to relax and enjoy the game? Yeah. Now, the next thing I have here is the aggressive cheating in the rank systems for a lot of these live service games. Now, I'm not as hardcore as I was back then. Honestly, I would say I'm pretty good. I don't know where I would rank. Usually in most games that I play in, I would rank like diamond 1-ish or whatever. Sometimes I would push like that other higher tier than diamond, where it's like you're like, with the people that really take this game seriously, like a full-time job. That's how like deep I was into like the hardcore mode in games. But I don't do that anymore because gaming now, at least in terms of like live service games for ranked, it's infested with some of the most like sloppy ass, loser ass people you could ever imagine, just cheating their ass off, and they don't even give a shit. Like, I've known people in real life that like literally will say like, yeah, I toggled the cheats real quick. I just toggled aimbot on real quick. And they did talk about it like it's nothing. Like it was just a fun pastime. I was like, do you not realize how much of a loser you sound like? I said it to his face, by the way. I was like, bro, you sound like a loser. Like, these people, they have zero shame. We need to bring shame back. Because straight up, these people would not be doing what they're doing. Just like blatantly cheating, making multiple accounts, ban evasions, just like stuff to just get around it, to continue cheating in a game that they are completely ass at otherwise, and that they don't really care about much to begin with. It's like, why are you ruining the experience for other hardcore players who just want to play ranked and have a good time because they're competitive players? Like, why are you ruining the experience for this hardcore player base? I'll never get it. I straight up will never get the mindset of a cheater. It has straight up single-handedly ruined at least 3 live service games I could think of that I was just like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I really wanted to love this live service game, but actually the most important example for me particularly is the finals, because that was like the last straw. When I had cheaters in the finals and I was getting pretty high in ranks, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It's like all the energy drained from my body in that instance, and like the competitive will to play these type of games very hardcore just left me instantly. But anyways, moving on, I want to say like the lack of meaningful content updates is something that's so apparent, even with like some of the most successful live service games. And I know you already know them. Helldivers 2 is a prime example of that. Arc Raiders is a prime example of that. And there are some of the most successful live service games in the past decade. I've said this in the past, like, I feel like it's so unfortunate when these live service games get so big, because it's unfortunate for like Arc Raiders and Helldivers. They weren't expecting this to be, the Concord, right? Like, it's like if Sony and Embark switch places, then yeah, they would probably be equipped to handle this amount of player demand for content. But they just weren't. They probably thought that Arc Raiders was going to be, decently successful, right? They probably saw the numbers that showed that it was trending upwards, but nowhere to where it blew up and literally took off to the stratosphere. And I don't think they were prepared for that, as well as Helldivers. I mean, come on. Sony was not expecting Helldivers to be some sort of big, massive live service hit. They just sort of threw it out there and hoped that like a strong player base would find the game appealing. And as we saw, these games actually appealed to a much broader audience than either of the studios expected. And they just weren't ready for that amount of pressure and expectation from players who play these games like really hardcore, like live service games really hardcore, and it's like their full-time job. That's all they do. They just hop on the game every day as soon as they wake up, and then they play until they go to sleep. And you might be thinking like, oh, it's unsustainable to keep content for people who play games like that. Well, that's just the reality of like how a lot of people actually play. Maybe not to that degree, but to a degree similar to that. So you put out an update, a new map, a new, enemy, a new this or that, a new battle pass every like 2 months, it's just not going to cut it for these people. And if they don't get it from your game, they're going to go get it from another game. And they're going to keep rotating between the games instead of staying on your game. And you're going to see that player number decline real quick because they're not just no life in your game. They're now starting to rotate through the games that they usually play. And I don't even know what the solution to this would be, because as we know with something like Destiny 2, I mean, no amount of people you can have working on the game is going to just like breed success. Like it doesn't work that way. But I do think there's just something wrong with like I don't know how I want to describe it. It's like the content scheduling. Like every live service game ever for the first 12 months is like so packed, and it's like, oh my God, let's go, dude. Like we have so much content coming out. I'm going to be no life in this game. It's going to be so much fun playing with my boys every weekend. But then after that year, really, like it teeters off after like 6 months. It really starts to slow down. And even you're starting to see it with like Arc Raiders. I mean, I was looking at Steam charts and I was like scrolling and I was like, what the heck? Where's Arc Raiders? Got like 20,000 players playing that. I was like, I did not expect that. But yeah, that combined with, I guess my next point I kind of didn't touch on so much, but the lack of transparency also, oh my gosh, it's just, I don't understand why these studios don't understand. Like, you have an active community. This isn't some single player game that's 10 hours long. It's a very linear focused story, and people play it for a weekend or whatever, and then they stop playing the game, and then no one talks about it anymore after like a month until the Game Awards comes up maybe and it gets a nomination. But outside of that, they don't talk about it anymore. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. You have to actually be on top of the community. Like, have a couple people literally just roaming social media, just like combing it through like a fine-tooth comb. Because I'm telling you right now, you keep going on with this pace of like not letting your fans know what you're working on, not letting them know your progress with new things you want to add into the game, just general updates, patches, things like that. And maybe that's like not the correct approach, but like I feel like that level of transparency would go a long way. Like it happens with Warframe, and people love that game. Like every single day, basically, there's some news about Warframe coming out. Did I get now? Maybe it's because I'm a newer player, so like I'm learning new stuff every single day. But like still, I feel like Warframe at least once a week there's like some pretty decent size of news regarding maybe the next updates or maybe the current events going on. And it just feels like there's a never-ending loop of content as well as communication. I think it just breeds a much healthier like community to like developer relationship. And that's why Warframe has been one of the longest standing live service games to still be up and running and successful and honestly thriving. Like Warframe is still eclipsing some of these live service games that came out like a year ago on Steam charts. I'm like, if y'all want to see how to do a live service game, literally look at Digital Extreme. It's really not that hard. Sorry, man, I gotta calm down. Sorry, it's been on my mind for a little bit, but I can finally get it out in a video, say why I don't, play live service games for the most part anymore. The last thing I really want to talk about in this video is the buggy state and just like the overall brokenness of a lot of live service games after updates. You combine that with the lack of transparency, for when these things will get fixed, for when, very broken and just OP things happen to be implemented into the game, or I guess introduced to the game, and you get no real communication from that, so people are just left to suffer for weeks on end. It is the fastest way to kill your live service game outside of just like a pure lack of communication. Like these games all go through like at least some of these problems in some form or fashion, maybe not to certain extremes, but I mean they went through these issues, and I know because I played them firsthand. And a combination of these issues is what ultimately led me to quitting a lot of these games. And so yeah, that's why I said in the video like 2 or 3 weeks ago, like just don't make live service games because you're not ready for it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know personally if Embark wasn't ready for like Arc Raiders, and if I forgot the developer behind Helldivers, but if they weren't ready for Helldivers, like, I'ma promise you, as good a games as they made, you aren't ready for it. You want that Arc Raiders money. You want that Helldivers money. I know you do. You want that Apex Legends money. You want that Call of Duty money. It's not gonna happen. Just stop. Why don't you want to make the next, I don't know, Baldur's Gate 3, The Witcher 3? Why don't you want to make the next, these massive RPG games that the entire industry loves? Like, I don't understand. Maybe I'm just on the wrong side of the industry, and I don't know. I'm tired of live service games. Anyways, what's y'all take on live service games? I think that most of the viewers who watch my channel, they don't actually engage with many live service games. Like, some of my live service videos do well, but I don't think that that's the people who recurrently come back. Like, I look at my casual viewers, regular viewers, I don't think that most of them even watch a live service video on my channel twice, or like 2 of them, I mean. Yeah, I think for the most part, most people who are probably watching this video are going to be on the side of, single player games. But if you are on the opposite side, if you actually really do like a lot of live service games and you play them a lot, then, let me know what you thought of my list, or let me know any counter arguments you might have to anything I said. I'm always open to feedback. I'm always open to other solutions, but for me, it's not the type of games I want to play anymore. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you next time.